Erev Torah B'Tay. Tonight is going to be Yud Zayin Tammuz. So therefore tomorrow is going to be Yom Ta'anit, right? Right? We already talked about this, the reason why we do this Ta'anit, because they broke into the city of Yerushalayim on Yud Zayin Tammuz. By the way, they say something interesting, that this was in the second temple, Beit Sheni. But in the first temple, when did they break into the city? No, it wasn't Yud Zayin Tammuz. What day was it? It was Tet Tammuz. The first temple, right? When Nebuchadnezzar came to conquer the city. The second temple was Yud Zayin Tammuz.
I'm sorry, which Tammuz was?
Tet Tammuz, Tet. 9. Yeah, Tet Tammuz, right. So then, why do we keep Yud Zayin and we don't keep Tet? Right? That's what they ask in the Gemara. Why we keep Yud Zayin? So the answer is because for us, the Beit Sheni is more important, right? Because they already came back from Beit Rishon. They returned. They did Teshuvah. They returned. But we still have Galut. We're still in Galut. So for us, the Beit Sheni, the second temple, is what bothers us. What disturbs us. This is the problem. So therefore, we have to keep from Yud Zayin Tammuz, right? On Tisha B'Av. Those are the 3 weeks that we keep, right? And Tet Tammuz, we don't do nothing. We don't do anything special because that's from the Beit Rishon. It has nothing to do with us. They already did Teshuvah from there. Right, so it's a different discussion. So anyway, tonight is, as we said, right, Yud Zayin Tammuz. So when does the fast start? It starts Amud HaShachar in the morning, right? Dawn. It doesn't start at night like Yom Kippur, or Tisha B'Av. So what does that mean? What time are we talking about? I just checked on my calendar. It says 4:15 a.m. in the morning, right? 4:15. It starts the Tanit. Right? There are some luchot that have different times. One is going to say 4:10. One is going to say 4:05. You can rely on this one. This is a good one. Mine is good. So therefore, right, you can rely on that. It's from this is the Sephardi Luach, and it's also Orach Chaim. Yeshivat Orach Chaim, which is the Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, the chief rabbi. He said this is the best Luach that there is. So right, according to that, we're going into this Luach, Baruch Hashem, this calendar. Okay, so it starts at 4:15. Now, so therefore, right, if you want to eat tonight, you can eat right until the morning, until Amud HaShachar, no problem, right? But here's one thing you have to know. Let's say, right, you want to go to sleep and then wake up, early, and have a little breakfast, let's say about 3 o'clock, 3:30. You can do that. But, right, if you want to sleep and then wake up and eat and drink, you have to make tanai. You know what that means, tanai? You have to think before you go to bed, right? Think about this, If I wake up, I'm going to eat and drink, or whatever I want to do, right? Think about it before you go to sleep. So this way, but if you didn't make the tanai, so then you're not allowed to eat anymore or sleep or drink after you wake up, right? After you went to sleep. You're not allowed to. So you have to make sure you make this tonight. It's very simple, Just think about it or say it, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to do, that's good enough, right? Once you do that, you're good. You can wake up and you can have an early breakfast, 3 o'clock, 3:30, right? And then all day you'll be nice and full, right? You have no problem. It's not bad. Not everybody likes to do these kinds of things, but whatever, right? Or you can eat late dinner, tonight. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, have a late dinner, and then go to sleep, and that's it, right? You'll be okay tomorrow, you'll not so bad, right? That's the way to do it. Okay, very good. So it starts at 4:15. When does the Ta'anit end? Right? It ends according to the Sephardim minhag, right? We're not talking about Ashkenazim now. Ashkenazim, they have different custom, But the Sephardim, 20 minutes after Shkiat HaChamah, after sunset, right? That's it. You can already eat. So what does that mean? Tomorrow Shkiat is going to be 8:20, right? So 8:40. You can eat already, no problem, right? You don't have to wait till 8:50, 9 o'clock, this, whatever. Rabbeinu Tam. You don't have to do Rabbeinu Tam for this. Why not? Because it's Derabanan, right? This fast is Derabanan. So Derabanan, we don't do Rabbeinu Tam. Only for something which is Deoraita, something from the Torah. We're Machmir, Rabbeinu Tam. But you don't have to do Rabbeinu Tam for something which is from the rabbis, That's already too much, right? Going too far, right? So that's also you have to understand. Another question, right, which is important to know, which is that the Chazal say, what is a person supposed to do on Yom Ta'anit? He's not eating, right? He's not drinking coffee, right? Not having any tea, nothing, right? So what is he going to do all day, right? I'm sure people are working also. You're allowed to work, no problem, right? You can go to work. But here's the thing, right? What are you supposed to do for tikkun, for Yom Ta'anit, to make a tikkun? So they say, right, in the Talmud, there's a few things that a person should do, Yom Ta'anit. One is to give tzedakah. This is a big tikkun for Yom Ta'anit. It says in Masechet Brachot, Gemara, that the real tikkun of Tanit is to give tzedakah on that day. You know, it saves you from all kinds of things, right? So it's a good thing. So if you can give somebody tzedakah, some poor person or whatever, right? So we have some friends over here coming, right? They're collecting. So if you want to give to them, it's good, you know, give them some tzedakah. That's one thing, one tikkun. Another tikkun, right, for Yom Tanit, very important. This is even more important, which is what? To do teshuvah, you know? Because after all, you know, Tanit is like pur anut, it's like punishment, you know? So a person has to do teshuvah for his sins, you know? Think about what's wrong, what's my problem, right? Think about, you know, go through your life and see, right? Well, you got problems, you got some things that you're not doing properly. So this is the time now to do teshuvah, right? On Yom Tanit. So this way Hashem will give you a good judgment, right? That's the whole thing, right? So this is the time now for teshuvah. So that's why, you know, they say, in the Talmud, Masechet Tanit says over there, that they used to assemble, you know, in the old days, right? In the times of the Talmud, they would assemble in the synagogue, Bet Knesset, and they would together, you know, as a group, you know, like talk about if there's any sins in the community, you know, some things that people are doing wrong, you know, and to tell them, you know, stop doing this, you know, to give them musar, you know, to be mochiach them, you know, to give them, right, to give them, you know, some advice how to solve the problem. So they used to do this, you know, they used to look for the sins in the community. If there's something wrong, you know, let's correct it today. You know, this is the time now to do teshuvah for everybody, for the whole community. Right? That's a good thing. So you see from there, right, that on Yom Tanit, what are you supposed to do? Tzedakah, right, and teshuvah, right? This is the also you cannot eat and drink. Well, that we know, right? But you know, besides that, there's also some other things that a person should try to do if you can. Okay, whatever. We get the idea. Another thing I want to tell you, right, very important to know, is that now from Yud Zayin Tammuz until Tisha B'Av, right, they say, you know, in the Talmud, it says there that there's a shed, you know, a demon, you know, right? What's the name of this shed? What's his name? Everybody has a name, right? I have a name, you have a name, right? So he also has a name, you know, right? What's his name? Ketev Meriri. That's his name. Ketev Meriri, right? So what does this guy do? He harms people, kills people, you know? He's a dangerous guy, you know? Bandit, you know, bandit, you know? He's mafia, you know? So how do you avoid this guy? How do you run away from him? Right? Stay away from him, you know? Don't mess with this guy, you know what I mean? So they say, the thing is, you know, that he's working, you know, he has a schedule, you know, that he works, you know, like everybody, you know, 9 to 5, right? Whatever it is that you work, right? He also has a schedule. So what's his schedule? On the 3 weeks, right? Ben HaMetzarim, he works from the 4th hour of the morning until the 9th hour, right, of the afternoon. So this, for us, you know, in New York City, it's about 9:15, you know, in the morning until 4:45. This is the hours that he works, you know. He's got a job, you know. He's got a job to do. Mafia, you know, he's a mafia guy, right? So he's working at that time, you know. So that's why they say, you know, at that time, be careful. You know, don't do things which are a little bit crazy, you know, like, you know, for instance, you know, don't, I'm just giving you some advice, you know, it doesn't say this in the Talmud, but don't drive crazy at that time, you know, because this guy will, you know, he'll push you, you know, somewhere not good, you know. He's a dangerous guy. He works at this time. They say also, you know, Talmud, it says like this, right? Don't hit your, you know, if you have little children, right? Sometimes you give him a pachi, you know, tick, you know, he did something wrong, you know. Don't give him too much, by the way, you know. Don't hurt him, you know. Today, nobody likes this anymore, right? The patch, you know. In the old country, we used to give good patch, you know, nice patch, you know. But now, right, people don't like it anymore. They take you to the police, you know. They take you to the court, you know, the children. They'll tell you, Abba, let's go to court. I'm suing you, right? You know, so it's not what it used to be. But anyway, right, even if you give, right, a little patch, you know, to your kid to train him, whatever, so they say at these hours, you know, that we mentioned, don't give any patch to the children. Why? Because they say if you give patch to the children at this hour, the shed also will hit him, you know. Can you imagine? If you hit him, the shed also hits him. Right? So this could harm the child, you know? That's what they say. So be careful, you know? At that time, don't give patch to nobody, right? And don't get into fights also. That's even worse, right? Don't fight with somebody. You could get hurt, you know, at that time, right? So be careful, you know? At those hours, you gotta chill out, you know? Stay nice and chill. No hitting children, no hitting talmidim, all kinds of things like this, right? And of course, you shouldn't be hitting your friend, right? Of course, you know. That we know, right? That we know, right? That's not a big chidush. Okay, so that's one thing, right? Also, there's another thing. They say that this shed, you know, where is he located? What's his location, right? Everybody has a location. You know what I mean? This guy likes to hang out. You know where he likes to hang out? Between the sun and the shade, right? That line, you know, that separates the sun and the shade. So don't walk on that line, you know, during those hours. During these 3 weeks, you know, dangerous over there. That's where he likes to go, you know. He likes to hang around over there. So yeah, exactly. So either go to the shade or go to the sun, but not in the middle, you know. Don't be a wise guy. You know, because they say in the Talmud, by the way, here's the thing, right? They say in the Talmud, if you see this guy, you know, this gangster, you know what I mean? He's a gangster, you know, be careful, you know? You'll die right away if you see him, you know? So that's why you got to make sure you don't see him, you know? Because if he shows his face to you, just because you saw him, you die. Can you imagine? Dangerous, you know? Sakana, you know? Danger. So that don't go in the right between the sun and the shade. Or here or there, right? Don't go in the middle. That's another thing, right? They say also, he also likes to hang around, you know, in places which are deserted, you know, no people over there. So don't go into like deserted places, you know. What do I mean to say? Like don't go to the forest, you know. Nobody's there, just you. Don't go, especially these hours, you know, of the day, right? Don't go to places like this alone by yourself during this time of year, you know. During those hours, don't go over there because he has permission to harm you. You know, it says in the Talmud that if you go somewhere alone, right, the shed, you know, the demon has a permission to harm you over there. So the truth is, you know, the person shouldn't go alone anywhere. You know, but there's no people there. Not so good to do, especially at night, and especially during these hours. You know, during this time. So a person has to be careful. You know, be a little bit cautious, right? They say in the Talmud like this: if the shed, right, if this demon sees you, any demon, right, or this one or somebody else, doesn't matter. If he sees you alone, he has permission to harm you. You know, he has permission from Mina Shamayim. If there's two people, right, going together, you know, me and Boris, right, going together, we're walking together. He doesn't have permission to harm you, but he can scare you. He's allowed to scare you. You know? But if there's three people, he doesn't have even permission to scare you. Right? Nothing, right? So 3 people is the best, you know? If you go with 3 people, you're safe from these monsters, you know, from these gangsters. You know, that's the way it is, right? So you got to be careful when it comes to these things, you know, during these 3 weeks, you know, from Yud Zayin Tammuz until Tisha B'Av. And then, right, that's why Maran says in Chazon Ovadia, he writes that if you really want to, you know, let's say your kid is like misbehaving, you know, so you want to give him a patch, you know, but you're saying, oh my God, now it's, you know, 3 weeks, you know, I can't give him a patch. So he says, but you know what you can do? Wait till right 4:45, you know, when he's already going home, right? He's stopping working, right, at that time. 5 o'clock, right? He's going home from the job. He's not working. So he says, then you can give him a patch, you know, in the evening. Why? Because there he's not working anymore, you know. So that's okay. Understand? That's the whole thing. So he's only working these hours, you know. That's the thing. So you got to know, right? You got to know how to do it, and everything is good. So Be'ez Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should rebuild the Bet HaMikdash, and we should see only good things. Be'ez Hashem. No more Taniyot, no more Churban.
There is expression that Hashem sees everything and knows what they do.
Of course.
We just said that Shedim, as I said, we have 50 million Jews.
Right.
And in a certain spot, somebody can do harm to each other, to other person.
Yes, yes.
And you're saying, him I see.
Right.
I cannot understand this thing.
Because he has Shabbat, he has permission, you know, at that time. He has permission, you know, so I gotta watch out.
Like you're saying, we have 15 million people, Jews. And how he sees everybody at the same time?
Because, you know, this is like a spiritual thing, you know, it's ruchani, you know, it's not like a person, you know, like a human being. It's ruchani, you know. So the malach, you know, shed, he can see everything, a lot more things than you see, you know what I mean? He can see a lot of things. It's a spiritual thing, you know, it's not physical. So, you know, it's a little bit physical also. They say, you know, the shed, the demon, is half physical and half spiritual, you know, 50-50. That's what he is. The malach is all spiritual, you know, malach. All spiritual. But the shed is 50-50, you know, that's the way he is, you know, so it's a little bit different there. Okay, Baruch Adonai לעולם, אמן ואמן. רבי חנניה בן כשומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות את ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנתן לחפש למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר. אמן.